county zoning or whatever, I have no problem with a county judge having requirements on roads before they would be took in as county roads. Now, what Mr. Flake and I argued about one time, 2 or 3 years ago, he mentioned a proposal that any subdivision that was built in the county, passing that it would more or less have to have paved streets and curbs and all this. Now, I could take you to some nice subdivisions that way. I can take you to a subdivision north of town that sold 5-acre tracts, and there's a nice dirt road through the middle of it. And there's nice homes there. And yes, we don't have to take that road into the Carroll County road system. But if the development would probably have never happened if that person had to curb that whole road that goes through the middle of these 5-acre tracts and pave it all, it would probably never been built, and that's one subdivision that we wouldn't be collecting taxes off of today.
That's true, but it's also true that the subdivider would not have been able to sell those tracts for what he sold them for unless he could tell people they were going to be taken in, that the road was going to be taken into the county system and the county would maintain the road.
This one's not in the county system.
Well,
but that's the way he built it.
Those
people knew that when they bought it. Now, I agree. I'm the first, that's my pet peeve. And this may get real estate people on me, but when they go out there and tell people that they're on a county road and they don't know whether they are or not, and with all the paperwork that there is in selling a house, one trip in here and find out whether it's on a county road or not is not no big task compared to everything else that's involved in selling a house.
It's not, and the problem is, and I have a couple of these in my area, subdivisions where a bunch of lots were put in and the road was run back there. And when the people bought it, they were told by the developer that he would take care of it until it was taken into the county.
But there's not anything we can do about that.
I know that, but these people come to Sam saying, we were told this was going to be a county road. And Sam has to say, well, it's not a county road. We can't take it in. It doesn't meet the specs. And we have a number of very vocal people who live on roads like that. And all I want to see is some way that we can stop the bleeding so that doesn't happen anymore in the future. We can't solve all the old problems, but we can come up with requirements so that we don't get that happening again. And I'm working with a developer out in my district right now who is working with me on this road ordinance because he wants to put in a subdivision and he wants to have county roads in there because he can sell his lots for more money. But he doesn't like the old ordinance.
And he's working with you on this, and when you get done, it's going to be set up to what you like in the county road and what he likes, and the next developer, it may not be.
No, wait, I said DeVoe is with us too. I mean, DeVoe and I are rewriting the ordinance.
I thought you said the developer is working with you on it.
The developer has come to me and said, I need to have this, this, and this. And I've told him we're working on a new ordinance. We'll get with you when we get it written. He's not writing the ordinance. DeVoe and I are writing the ordinance, and Sam's been involved in it some. We've been working on it.
Already has a copy.
But the only thing I'm saying, I don't want to slow down development and growth. And there's lots of places that there's been farmers that have split up the farm and sold off 3-acre tracts and 5-acre tracts, and it would have never happened if they had to be a paved road and curb and guttering and all that.
And I agree that curbing and guttering is too much for a lot of rural subdivisions. But having a county road that can be adequately maintained to service a subdivision is not too much.
No.
That was my intention. I'm not opening this thing up. Someplace in between those two is what I'm looking at. Something that's reasonable that would give the judge some teeth to help him say, and give him, he can say, okay, no, we can't accept this road. Do the thing.
He's already got that.
Okay.
Yeah, he can do it.
And then
The first thing starts with a good, solid ordinance plan, and before we could, that does the variety of things. It gives you something to go to when you're asked to do something. You've got an ordinance that says this is what I'm allowed to do with the ordinance. That's good for you to be able to have that response. It prevents future judges from, in other words, the Quorum Court through an ordinance needs to help the judge manage the road system. And if we ever thought, I'm not saying we're thinking, looking for whether it was a bond measure or some kind of mechanism like Madison County has, dedicated sales tax, to improve our roads, you couldn't go to the public unless you had a plan in place first. So I think that's the place we need to go.
Yeah.
It's a good, solid ordinance, and those are just two things that occur to me that are good things. That gives us a rule book via an ordinance that helps you manage the road system, that helps the road department manage the road systems. And then if we ever decided to put before the public, and it would have to be a long process, 2 years with education and advocacy and input. You wouldn't even want to take that first baby step unless you had a good solid plan to present to the public saying this is how your money would be applied. So I think, a long way of saying this, let's get that road ordinance written and...
We already have one, we're just wanting to modify it.
I mean, get it up to date and get it saying what we want it to say.
It's like your car, you put an engine in, but you have to tune it when you get started.
Not to try and discuss what they're covering, but I think one thing we could do to help people understand what is a county road and what isn't is if we put our numbered roads on our website and indicating what was a county road and what was not a county road.
I think one thing would help if the private road was marked private instead of CR number on it, though. Most people, including myself, for years, instead of CR, I thought they meant county road.
Yeah.
And once it's in your mind, some people it's hard to get out.
Hard to change.
The other counties use a sign that says private.
Different color maybe, and it
We can make that part of the ordinance.
Most of the time, it still has the number for
Mhm.
911 purposes,
Mhm.
emergency purposes, but right above the number, it just says private.
And that can be part of the county road ordinance when we get it done, is that non-county roads be marked as private roads.
costs too much to change them all now, but anything else,
We can work
Well,
it.
you would only be changing just the private.
a few of them.
There's a lot of-
Anyone else, anything to say?
Move we adjourn.
Wait, we got Judge.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Anybody second?
Are you done?
We're adjourned. Now then, I'll thank you all. That worked.
Okay, who's second?